So, because we're here to talk about films, that brings me to our latest bracket for projects that we're going to be working on. As you
Hey,
can see,
hey.
as you can see, with our Bible bracket, we're going to do four, and then I'm going to go with a whole new bracket because, as you can see, when we have 4 weeks, it already takes up the screen. So, as you can see from the bracket, this week, the first week we sent one out, which is like a zombie kind of reality show. If you've seen the movie Sasquatch Summer, that's about the first sentient zombie, and we follow them along in their adventures. Then we talk about Maria Trout, which is all about social media stardom, about friendship, and all the stuff that comes with that. And then there is Straw, a movie that delves into straw gun purchases and the tragedies that can befall people from that, and just how a lot of that works in some cases. Now, this week we have John Long versus Thumpers. Now, John Long, there's a thin line between love and hate, and there's an even thinner line between love and madness. And that's where John Long lies. It's all about a doctor, his wife, and John Long. So whenever you talk about relationships and whenever you talk about more than one person being involved, it used to be all about infidelity. It used to be, but now it's about what you do in a relationship and the boundaries of relationships and what's acceptable to some and what's acceptable to others. So that's John Long. John Long delves into that madness that comes when you push relationships beyond their boundaries. Thumpers. Are any of you guys familiar with the term thumpers? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of thumpers?
I'm thinking about me. I what who that question going to?
For
Either one of
oh,
us?
all the entire group. But
Okay.
for me, when I see the word thumpers, I think about Bible thumpers. And when you think about the Bible, there's a lot that comes with that territory. And a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on the Bible. But whenever I hear someone who's a Bible thumper, I think about the things they've memorized from the Bible. I think about the things people have told them about the Bible. But it's not really what they've read. So it's like that saying, the loudest people get to have a voice, who probably shouldn't. So Thumper sort of delves into that. And it challenges people to look at how they think about the Bible and how they experience the Bible. So it's part documentary and part narrative that really delves deep into why it matters whether you're a Bible thumper or not. And so it's a little more serious, but I think it's something that we need to talk about. And I think it's something that it's easy to do, and it's easy to really sort of bring people in to sort of understand about, you know, the Bible and what it really means, and maybe they can, if not adjust how they feel about it, maybe just know that there are other things that exist out there. So, up on deck, we've got John Long and we've got Thumpers. Now, Katie, for you, which one works, Thumpers or John Long?
I'm gonna have to go with Thumpers on this one. I'm a documentary person, so definitely Thumpers.
Thumpers. Okay, so we've got Thumpers for Katie. So Clint, I know that you are Mr. John Long himself.
You don't even have to ask me which one I'm going for. So you already know the answer.
You're already going for John Long. Oh, so we
You
have
already I for John I for John Long all the way because I love drama. I love thriller. Just give me a lot of drama and anything to do with chaos and relationship. I'm for that. Give me
okay.
my popcorn, and I'm in.
So it's all about relationships for
Relationship gone bad.
relationships gone bad for Clint. So it's all about that John Long. So Jamel, come on, man. Which one are you for?
Well, you already know you and I had to talk about thumpers. Um, I don't know. For me, I feel like I would like to go with John Long first, and then we can bring thumpers in later. And just because not, Clint likes the drama and the trills, but for me, there's also some comedy that's going to be in there too. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, being able to get some laughs in first to, draw in more of an audience, and then we start producing, the documentaries and laying them out there so that, we can continue to just bring them in, because whenever we're laughing and having fun on the podcast, people are intrigued and want to know what's going on. So if we, start that out first, I feel like if we start that out first, then once we get into the seriousness with the documentaries, that'll still keep people in tune, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, that
Great
makes
point. Great point.
Foreseeing, yes.
what was that?
He's thinking ahead.
Well, yeah, and my thing is that you
I
know,
feel like this with Tampa.
say again.
I might watch Tampa like it's a documentary.
I
But see,
just
Once I'm
well,
like
not
Clint,
seeing, I'm not.
Clint, check it out though.
No, I'm
As I
just
was
kidding.
telling, as,
I'm just
as I
kidding.
was telling, as as I was telling Paul too, I can relate to what he's saying because I grew up pretty much in the church. Like literally after school, that was my babysitter. So
Mhm.
I was there 7 days a week for at least 4 to 6 hours a day after school.
That sounds like
Same,
child
So,
abuse,
same.
man.
Same.
so
Tampa, don't get me wrong. Although I'm for Tampa also, but I think Tampa could wait. But what I got from Tampa, since we're dealing with the Bible and everything, it could also show. I'm gonna add something. It could also show how different people has different interpretation when it comes to the Bible. That sort of thing we could get from it, you know. So I think it's going to be also very educational wise when it comes to the Bible.
So
But
going by our rating system, does it stick? Does it need work? Or forget about it?
for
We
the
certainly
Bible,
don't want to forget about John Long, and we certainly don't want to forget about Thumpers.
no, Thumper is good. It's really good. I
But
think
right,
Thumper could wait because Thumper is going to need a lot of work since we're going to be dealing with something that is very sensitive, you know. So we're going to need to put in a lot of work in it since it comes to dealing with the Bible itself.
but you want to just think about what hits you, whether it sticks or whether you want to forget about it or whether it needs more work. And right now, you're just saying it needs a little bit more work. So
Yeah.
Oh,
right now, we're going to say that this week, John Long stuck the most and has the most votes. And it doesn't, and that's what I wanted to sort of delve into because you brought it up. Because we have it on the bracket doesn't mean that the things that don't make it are things that we're not going to work on at all. This bracket is just a fun way for us to talk about the different projects that we will be doing. So each week, as you know, we may make one more priority than the other, but just because it's on the bracket and it doesn't win in a week, it doesn't mean we're not going to be working on it. And as a matter of fact, when we get into the coming weeks, Sentient will be going up against um, Maria Trout. And of course, Straw will be going up against John Long. So then that doesn't mean that when we get to the other end of it, that we're not going to do John Long, or we're not going to do Straw, or we're not going to do Maria Trout, or we're not going to do some of the other films. But I just thought that this bracket was a great way for us to talk about the show and to talk about the concept of when you have a show having a Bible, which means you have a way of having all the elements of the show, the arcs and the characters and everything all in one place. And that's the main reason why I wanted to put it in a bracket form and to make it a Bible bracket so that that's top of mind for people who are working on projects, and that they'll know that that's what we're going to do as a company, and that's our whole goal.